everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Kentucky. I'm Sherelle Roberts. We're here with the Let's Talk team, and joining us at the table is Master Distiller Alex Castle. Welcome to the table.
Welcome to the table, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Alice, I'm not gonna lie, you are kind of a big deal. We have been like watching you since the beginning of our show, so we are just over the moon that you are here today because you have such an amazing distilling story. So please tell folks, how did you get into the distilling business?
I always say first and foremost, I'm Kentucky born and bred. So I think some of it is just innate, we're exposed to it from an early age.
In the DNA.
It is. But I also discovered chemistry and physics and calculus when I was in high school. Nice. I was that person. And my mom suggested chemical engineering.
Oh.
And I said, great, what do they do?
Right.
And she said, you can make beer and be a brewmaster, or you can make bourbon and be a master distiller. And I said, done, let's do it. I was about 15 at the time. So maybe not appropriate, I don't know.
That's awesome, though.
But ended up going to the University of Kentucky for chemical engineering. And then from there was able to do a co-op with Alltech that has Kentucky Ale. They didn't have a distillery at the time. I was there when they started Town Branch, got to help them get that going. Moved on to Wild Turkey, and then 8 years ago, left Kentucky and moved to Tennessee to help start Old Dominic.
Wow, that is so cool. And I love how you're doing calculus and physics, and your mom's like, no, don't be an astronaut, let's make some booze. I love that. Because
most parents say go be a doctor.
Yeah,
right.
But now you're more famous and probably better off than if you would have gone chase the stars. So kudos to Mama.
I have more fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So there's something really cool called the Old Dominic Whiskey Roadshow. So tell us about that.
Yes, so we launched our first Tennessee whiskey back in the fall, and it was just Memphis. But this year, we've slowly started rolling it out to all our other markets. So I was in Atlanta last week, launching it there, and did a little mini roadshow there. And then this week, I got to come back home, and we started in northern Kentucky. So did some stuff up in Florence and Covington, and then today, a little bit in Lexington, a little bit in Louisville. And then we'll be back in Lexington again tomorrow.
Yeah, and so you have an event tomorrow at Bell's Cocktail House, is that right?
That's fine. So I actually think we are not doing that event now, but we absolutely will be at the Liquor Barn in Hamburg for a bottle signing at 3:30 tomorrow.
Nice. Well, let's do a little tasting, if you don't mind. While you're pouring and we're tasting, tell us what's special about this particular whiskey.
So this is a Tennessee whiskey. Starting a distillery in Tennessee, it was just kind of a given that this is what we would do. But it's a very traditional bourbon mash bill. My Kentucky roots they run deep. So this is going to be 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. So that high corn content's going to give some really great sweetness to it. We do follow this Lincoln County process, so we do send it through that sugar maple charcoal. That's what makes it Tennessee whiskey. We do it a little differently than some of the other more well-known Tennessee whiskeys. We don't send it through too much charcoal, so it actually maintains a lot of its just traditional bourbon flavor.
Now this is very smooth.
It is.
Well, it's smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Right? But it also helps that this is 85 proof, so it is going to be a little bit lower alcohol, so you're less likely to get that burn that people associate with whiskey.
Yeah.
Really
delicious. Now I can only taste a little bit because alcohol flush syndrome, but I always love the taste of whiskeys, so that is gorgeous.
Thank you.
So what is the difference between a bourbon and a whiskey?
That's a fight.
It is a fight, especially in this state. I know. I was here for a while. So all bourbon is whiskey. Not all whiskey is bourbon. So if you just picture a really large umbrella, let's call that umbrella whiskey. Underneath it, you have little baby umbrellas. And in that, you'll have bourbon.
And how does it differentiate? How does the bourbon set itself apart?
So all whiskey is going to be distilled from grain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere in the world. And then you get your subcategories. And so bourbon specifically has to be at least 51% corn.
Okay.
Has to be made in America. It's a true American spirit. Has to be aged in a new charred oak container. So like Scotch and Irish whiskeys can reuse containers. Bourbon cannot. It has to be that brand new barrel. And that's where that color comes from, is from that new barrel. It gives it that beautiful amber color.
Nice.
And then there are a couple other production related things, but that's the corn, American Spirit, and new barrel are probably the most important aspects.
Okay, got it.
So I feel like, you know, because of all of these rules, there are like little bourbon police running around out there. You know, you get people are like, no, that's not bourbon, it's whiskey. So, I mean, people get very serious about that.
They do.
But you being a master distiller, it is a serious art, yes?
It is, absolutely. And knowing the, you know, different types, what distinguishes this type versus that type is important. But what's fun in America right now is we're seeing the resurgence of things beyond just bourbon, and specifically Kentucky bourbon. We're seeing New York claim their type of whiskey. Arkansas is claiming their own type of whiskey. Of course, Tennessee has Tennessee whiskey. So we're actually starting to see even more little umbrellas start to pop up, which also means we're seeing a lot more of those little police running around telling us what it is or isn't.
I want to be on that police squad for sure.
Yes.
I don't know what the badge looks like, but I'm sure it's great.
Arkansas whiskey. I want to try it.
So let's talk about, first of all, too, the fact that you're going to be around this week. So where can people find you? And then also, where can they find the product as well?
Absolutely. So today, we're actually going to be heading back over to Louisville. And so we're going to be at Liquor Barn, I believe it's Springhurst, at 3:30 to 5:30. Then we're going to pop over to Watch Hill proper for an event at 6 or 6:30. And then tomorrow will be the tasting and bottle signing at the Liquor Barn in Hamburg at 3:30.
Awesome. Awesome.
Very
Looking forward to it.
Finding our product, we are across the state of Kentucky. We're in multiple other states. The best way to know is go to our website, olddominic.com. And there's a where to find us. You can put in your zip code. You can search by our product, because we make multiple things, and it'll tell you exactly where you can find us.
Awesome.
Very
Love
cool. Well, Alex Castle, master distiller, thank you so much for being here.
you.
And thank you for sharing your Tennessee whiskey with us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. Okay.